The intended use of this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests independently, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Updog Challenge Incorporated, its sponsors, or any other partnered organizations. Updog Challenge Incorporated does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed. In no way should the information provided during the Sweet Spot, an Updog podcast be considered veterinary, medical, legal, or professional advice. At all times, the advice of your personal professional should supersede any information provided, derived, or inferred from listening to this podcast.
Ready, set, go.
Welcome to the Sweet Spot, an Updog podcast. I'm Andrea.
I'm Jack.
And I'm Kat.
And Kat is going to be our guest today. Today we've got a hot topic, a very timely topic. Dre, what is our topic?
It is the Freestyle Invitational. Finally, we've been waiting and working on this information, dripping it out to you since March. March is the thing when we told you guys, and we finally have the information for you. We're so excited. As you know, Jack and I are very passionate about freestyle specifically, and so we've been very, very excited to tell you guys this information. So thanks for being our guest, Kat. Hi, everybody knows Kat, and she is the knower of all the things, so it's a really good idea that she's here for this one.
Well, she is our logistics person, and we're going to be talking about a few logistics things, so she'll definitely be helping us with that. But before we get started, you already heard our great disclaimer at the beginning of our show, but we have an additional one. This is, as we've shared with you before, and many of you know, this invitational competition is going to be, we are partnered with AKC and ESPN for this event. So that being said, there are logistical things that sometimes happen outside of our control. So anything that we say today is true as of September 11th, 2025, and it is subject to change. We hope it doesn't. It's unlikely to change, but just letting you know it's possible. All right. So first of all, I think our first question, and Dre and Kat, you guys could answer this one. So for those that may not know, what is the Freestyle Invitational and why does it exist?
Am I answering this one or are you answering this one, Kat? I'll start.
You go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll start.
Kat's going to have a bunch that she'll have to answer. So
Okay, so the Freestyle Invitational is our way, Updog's way of really celebrating our achievement in freestyle specifically. So UpDiff has grown so large as an event that freestyle is kind of getting lost in that, in the mix of all the different games, and players really aren't able to prioritize freestyle. It's about all the games. It's not just about freestyle. So, and part of our logistics, it also made more sense to go down to just one round so that we didn't have to reseed and do that in the middle of UpDiff logistics, because we love Kat and we like when Kat's happy. And so we wanted to get rid of the reseeding and the shuffling, reordering of the running orders. And so our solution for that is the Freestyle Invitational, which is 2 full rounds of freestyle. And one's going to be criterion and one's going to be performance. And this is going to be a nationally televised event. We're also going to have other games far out will be featured at the event as well, but it will not impact the freestyle score. And there will be other walk-up games available, which we're going to talk more about later. But basically, it's our opportunity to really showcase what we've created for freestyle, and also a way of satiating Jack and I for losing one of our rounds of freestyle at UpDiff, because it's hard for us, y'all. And I know I've heard from you guys that it's hard for you too, and you're worried about what it's going to do to UpDiff and how it's going to change things. We feel you. We also feel the loss of not having 2 rounds of freestyle at UpDiff, and we're really hopeful that this is a great solution that's going to really give freestyle an opportunity to shine. And if it doesn't do that, then we'll come up with something else next year that does allow freestyle to shine. So we're always on our toes, ready for different ways of making adjustments to make everything smooth for everybody and to really showcase all of our games. And so we're hopeful that the Freestyle Invitational is a great way of specifically letting our teams focus on the best of our freestyle teams being showcased on national television, which is a goal of ours since we created Updog. So we are also very, very excited about that. How was that, Kat?
That was great. All I would add is that, we've got, like you said, UpDiff is getting bigger and we have more games. So, this keeps for now. this keeps us from having to bump a game out of UpDiff.
Just
So we'll
yeah,
see.
Fireball just got
Well,
added.
Right.
to be completely honest, too, we were talking about a standalone freestyle event for the last 3 or 4 years before it even came
Yeah.
to a head at UpDiff.
Yeah.
And we always liked this idea of an invitational. So another thing that happens is freestyle typically comes later in the week at UpDiff, and our dogs may not be as fresh. They've just played far out. They've played, all these other games on, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and now it's Friday, Saturday, and I'm hoping that my dog's at their peak for freestyle, and they may not be.
Or
So,
you have to pick and choose. Like maybe you don't get to play certain games that your dog is great at because you want to save some of their gas for freestyle later in the
right.
week. And so this really gives people, Kat said it perfectly. Updiff is not, I think you said this out of our team, but Updiff is not just about freestyle. It's really about all the games, about celebrating all the games. And I feel like this when I go to UpDiff, that's what I'm thinking about is freestyle. To be 100% honest with you, I cannot wait for freestyle to start. And that's all I'm excited about all week long for when it starts. And so I'm excited that we have an opportunity to focus a little bit more on the games at UpDiff and really get into those and not be, my mind be so focused on freestyle the whole time. And also to really have an opportunity to just dig in full force with freestyle and have it not be about the other games. So for me, the invitational, like there's going to be other games there, but I don't really care so much about those. I'm really just excited about freestyle.
Well, I think it's really cool too to have like two large events throughout the year, keeping that
Yeah.
excitement about the games, keeping that excitement about Updog. One of them coming in the spring and the other one coming in the late fall. And of course, trying to steer clear of other organizations and their big events that happen in the fall, which I think we've done with our timing of it. So,
Yeah. And
the
that was one.
next question, Dre, you want to hit the next question?
Yeah. Where will the freestyle invitation take place and when?
All right. Well, the win is November 7th and 8th of this year, which is a Friday and a Saturday. And the where is in St. Petersburg, Florida, at a place called Al Lang Stadium, which is where our local soccer um, club, I guess,
From
team, the Rowdies play. It's a really nice stadium. It's on the water. It's on the like the channel, I guess, or the bay side of St. Petersburg. I guess it's on the bay side of St. Petersburg. So there's like all kinds of boats like harbored right
Mhm.
there, and like the Dolly Museum's right there, and like it's just a really cool
Exactly where that
area.
is.
Yeah, it's a really cool area. And they've got I know the folks at AKC TV are excited because there's LED screens that go around the field and stuff, so they'll be able to put
Oh, cool.
signage and stuff on the LED screens and stuff like that. So anyway, we'll
Sponsorship.
be in St. Petersburg, Florida.
That's exciting. What like you explained a little bit the area. What's the setup of the field? Like, is it a grass field? Is it like a design? It's designed to be a soccer field, so it's a grass
Yeah.
field. And is there like a stadium around it? Is it enclosed or is it open?
It's open. I mean, there's stadium. One side is there's no seating. Jack and I
Mhm.
happened to just be at a concert like next door to there this past weekend. Otherwise we wouldn't necessarily be able to answer this question. But we saw it from the parking structure at the concert venue. And anyway, one side it looks like there's no seating on one side, like it's open, and then the other side there's all like stadium seating and stuff like that. And it looks pretty cool, but it's grass, it's natural turf, and it's a soccer field, and there's room for two updog fields. So when we say we're gonna have other games, like there'll be a whole separate updog field for the other games while Freestyle Criterion is going on Friday.
All right. So who got invited and why?
Well, let's just say that I did not get invited, so I feel like this process is flawed.
I know, I'm a
Um,
little bummed
but
too.
uh, but we really, it's an invitational, and we really wanted to, we didn't just want to pick names out of the air. We wanted to use some criteria. And so I believe that we've published some criteria on the Updog Challenge discussion page, which got us to most of our teams. And that criteria was, first of all, if you finished in the top 25 at UpDiv, then you got an invite. Also, if you were on the podium in any of the height divisions, you got an invite because, and a lot of those people were also top 25. But if there was a situation where you weren't in the top 25, but yet you were on the podium for Big Dog or whatever, you got an invite there. And then we thought to ourselves, like, hey, if you've been a first place updiff freestyle champion ever in the history of Updog, we thought it would be really cool to give those folks an invite. Sometimes, sometimes people have a shift in their dogs, maybe life shifts,
Yes. Yeah.
things like that that maybe might have taken them out of, super competitive, play, but
Bring
they're
it.
still great. We know they're going to show up big, and we wanted to give them an opportunity to come. So we invited any previous champions. After that, we found that we still had like some slots available. And so together as a team, like obviously the three of us chatted about this quite a bit. And we wanted to put it out there. We wanted to put it out to the people. So we said, hey, like, if you think of somebody that maybe didn't fall into that criteria that we've already put out there, we allowed our Updog community to nominate folks. At
Mhm.
the same time, to be completely honest, we've also been like looking at data
Yeah.
and seeing sometimes you can just have a bad round at Updiff, like you can be a great team and just go out there and something happens and you don't have a great round. So we didn't want everything to hinge on Updiff stats and Updiff scores.
A lot of people
So
can't even go. So like if we didn't want to only have it be that people, because what if there's great teams out there that just can't attend up diff because of the time of year it is?
right, exactly. So we had about 10 slots left after we had our first set of criteria. And so I believe that invites are actually going out today
To
um,
the published
to the
criteria.
published criteria. And then the deadline for nominations is actually
Next
tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
tomorrow,
Friday.
which will have already happened by the time this
Right, but this is
happens.
so on Friday the 12th at noon, that'll be the deadline for nominations. So by the time this comes out, probably invitations will start to go out to that last bunch of folks that we're going to invite. And I know that like Kat put this in the post that she made, but honestly, like our guidance from the production team
Mhm.
was we want to see the best teams, the most amazing dogs, and the highest level play. And so that was kind of our thought process as we went into the selection. It wasn't about like who we like the best or, who
That's a
might
great
be like a good
costume.
example of this or a good example of that. We just went with what they said. Like, so we looked at scores and we watched some videos and we're trying to select who we think is going to really be able to bring it that day and put on like an amazing show.
Yep.
Um, the video recording, like the camera crew will be there on Friday, but it'll be a much smaller crew on Friday, and they'll just kind of be walking around on Friday, getting little shots of this and that, and doing some interviews and things like that. The full production team will be there on Saturday, and like updiffs of the past, we will be shifting the running order.
Mhm.
So your scores from Friday, from the criterion round, are going to be the basis for what the running order will be on Saturday. And of course, the production team is going to try to highlight the best moves that are happening, the best rounds that are happening and things like that. So like I don't want anybody to feel any pressure like, oh my gosh, I might go out there and, stumble a little bit and I don't want that to be on TV. I think if you stumble a little bit, I don't think that they are going to highlight that on TV. Like
We're gonna
I
have a lot of
that just doesn't make
content.
sense.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of content. And because we want to avoid copyright issues, they're not going to be posting a full display of everybody's freestyle. And I think back to anything that doesn't go well to make the show. Not everybody's guaranteed to make the show. But if you have great content in there, that's the best chance that you have to make it. And obviously, the higher scoring you are, the better chance you have to make it because
Yeah,
they'll
I'm
be.
not sure how much editing they're going to do of the
Yeah.
actual freestyle rounds. But this leads into the next question about the format. It is going to be a 90-second format because of that copyright issue. So, you know, I I don't think there's going to be a ton of editing of that 90-second round.
But they'll probably select the best 90
Right.
seconds round, the best rounds of the
Maybe
90
just cut out
seconds.
rounds entirely rather than.
I mean,
Yeah, just
yeah,
this is just based on what
what they
they've
did
done in the
last time.
past. They have a quick turnaround time. Like when they film other things like A Different Breed, a docu-series featuring ferrets.
On Amazon
When
Prime.
they did that, of course, they did all this filming and literally like
A year
a
later.
year later the show comes out. This is like a quick turnaround time. Usually like a month later the show comes out. So I don't know how much editing, to Kat's point, I don't know how much editing they're going to do, but I'm sure that they are going to be selecting like
The
the
best.
best rounds and things like that to put on TV. So, like you said, Dre, put your best stuff out there. And in regards to put your best stuff out there, just like Kat just said, Friday, the criterion round, just like normal. Same amount of time, same rules, nothing changes in criterion round. Performance round, 90 seconds. So you can start thinking about it now. Like, what do you have in your routine that maybe isn't as high level or as high success as something else? You're going to trim your routine down to 90 seconds. You do get to select your own music, but as part of the copyright issue, just like Dre said, that's why it's going to be a 90-second routine. So performance round, go out there, dazzle us in 90 seconds, show us what you got. And I think it'll be a ton of fun.
With
I'm
that said, though, with the performance round, we are not looking for outrageous
costume.
performance aspects. Like we're telling you to go big, but we're telling you to go big in a
Freestyle.
show freestyle way. We're not telling you to come in a blow up dinosaur
I
costume.
was thinking that I was literally just going to say that exact same thing. That does not mean show up in a blow up dinosaur.
Yeah.
I mean,
What
if
was that?
if you can throw down an amazing
No,
round of freestyle in a
No,
blow-up dinosaur
no.
costume,
no.
then go for it.
What was Troy?
Pat says no, but I
I say
say go
no.
for it.
I
You
say
may get left on the cutting room floor, but
yeah.
I still say go for it.
What was Troy McConaughey the first up diff?
He was like the Michelin Man or
You're
something.
a big round blow up thing. Don't do that. That's not what we're looking for. The cute little tricks where people bribe the judges and things like that. That's not what we're looking for here in this performance round. Yes, you may use costumes. Yes, you may match your discs to your clothing and
Well,
t-shirts.
you're going to get discs,
You will
so
get discs, so never mind about that. You're gonna get discs and you're gonna get shirts. So you'll be wearing that. But um, so I don't know. We'll have more details in that regard, but just know this is not a be
We're
stupid
looking for
silly, be
yeah,
cool.
freestyle showdown.
Right. This is a be cool performance round, not a be goofy performance round, if that
And,
helps.
and the
well,
thing
I guess that's why I didn't get an invite.
I guess so.
I'm very excited also that this is the first time we're using our new performance score sheets.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
And if you are not sure what Dre is talking about, we had a podcast like I don't know, like 4 months ago
Drop
about
the link in the comments, Jack.
what's that? You're gonna put the link in the comments?
Drop the link to the comment in the comments when you post this to the other podcast. And then
Yeah,
they
I
can
don't know where that is.
You
So
can
Dre
find
is
it.
going to drop the link
uh,
to the podcast in the comments. Thank you, Dre.
oh, it's gonna have to be a whole to-do item.
I mean,
You have to let me know when you post it, okay? And then I'll
uh,
just go in and do it.
this
I know
coming this
five
coming
o'clock on
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah, so I'm excited about the new score sheets. That's our first opportunity to use those. And there's a million bits of data behind everything that we talk about and decide, but one of the things last year we didn't want to end on performance. That's why we switched to end on criteria, so it was more clear what people were the small tiny factors that have someone win versus not win, right? And it did take away the vibe. We really do like performance to be last.
Yeah.
And it
And
was a big motivator for us updating the score sheet. And so this is really our first time going back to performance being last, but we have a new score sheet in place that Jack and I get to test out as the first opportunity and make any changes that we need to make before it goes live on January 1st.
And we asked the AKC team, do you want which round do you want to film, criterion or performance? And they said performance. And they didn't even like hesitate. They're like, no, we want the performance. So they
Yeah.
do want the performance, but they want it to be good quality disc play as well as performance aspects,
Not just
whatever performance aspects you decide to bring
yeah,
that are appropriate.
age appropriate, television appropriate, public national television appropriate. If you go out there with F-bombs on your shirt, you're not going to make the cut. Well, but
Yeah.
we're giving you a shirt. So
Yeah.
so never mind. All right, what's our next we already talked about the freestyle format and we talked about it being televised.
Yep.
How about what's up with Far Out being featured? What's the format for Far Out that's going to be happening there? Because that's going to be part of the competition, the televised part, but it's not going to impact the freestyle score, right?
Correct.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The scores have nothing to do with the freestyle, but um, when we started talking with ESPN and AKC about this, ESPN specifically really they love the long bombs. I
Mm,
mean, it's like a Hail Mary in football to them. So like,
yep.
and they completely they can understand that. Like, all right, we're gonna stand at this end of the field, we're gonna throw really far, and the dog's gonna catch it. They love it. We love it too. And at first, I know I'm only talking for myself, but at first I was kind of like, ooh, is this going to kind of take away from the Freestyle Invitational? I don't know how I feel about this. But the more I've thought about it, I'm really excited about it. I think these are two events that take place at UpDiff that like they're almost like just I don't know they stand alone as kind of separate skill sets,
Yeah.
and I really think that it's going to be cool to showcase like the long bomb, the big arms, the dogs that can chase down that 80-yard toss, and then the freestylers as well. I almost wish that we could come. We haven't come up with some sort of name with the FF, like F squared or something invitational
Freestyle and
because we've
Far
got
Out people.
freestyle and far out. But we're still thinking. So that's why, honestly, Far Out is there because it was requested by ESPN, which is amazing. That's cool.
All right. So what's out with Far Out being featured? Like what's the format for Far Out? Because we've done a couple different things for Far Out so far.
That is to be determined. We've talked about playing it in the regular format, and we've talked about playing it in the format that we played at the last AKC Disc Dog Challenge. We have not decided yet for sure, and by we, I mean the AKC TV team and us. So that is to be determined.
Okay, what
So what I hear you saying, Kat, is it's either the regular Far Out format or the best 3 out of 5 throws.
Right. Which
And
is,
those are still cumulatively uh, added together.
yes, your best 3 out of 5
Right.
added together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not really that different from regular Far Out. It's just whether we're definitely going to give everybody 5 throws or we're going to do the three with the option of the fourth.
Correct.
Right.
Nobody needs to plan for that. We'll find out
Right.
beforehand, change anybody's strategy. Okay.
All they need to plan for is throwing far.
And that
And
doesn't
it's
count towards freestyle or anything. It's completely separate discipline, completely separate competition.
And
All of
it's air throws only. We are not doing rollers at this event.
very important to note. Air throwers out there, all the people that were very upset last year about all the rollers, this is your jam. They only want air throws. They don't want any of the rollers. So all you air throw people that were so upset, I hope you enjoy Far Out with air throws only. I know
All right.
that's
Thank you for that, Dre.
welcome. I thought that was very because there was a lot. There was a lot of people being like, "You just can't beat him with the rollers, and it's not right." And Macy's especially, I hear that all the time. So she's very excited about air throws. So thank you for that.
All right. So we talked about how the freestyle teams were getting invited. How are the Far Out teams getting invited?
Basically, it's people that we know throw air throws far on a consistent basis. So,
Based on their data that we have.
yeah, yes, and that we've seen. I mean, because the problem with our data is only at Updiff do we know if every throw was an air throw or a roller.
Gotcha.
When we look in our system,
Yeah.
we just know whether it was all rollers or not. So we have to like go based off of other formats. We have to go based on far out rounds we've actually seen video of, things like that. So
Gotcha.
unfortunately for those people who always throw rollers at Updiff, like you're not on our radar as someone who can throw air throws far.
But did they have an
Unless
opportunity to do the form submission for far out? No, we didn't take any submissions for far out,
no,
right?
no, because we already had enough people.
Yeah, and it's a much smaller group of people for far out than for freestyle.
Yeah.
Like it's just a handful of people. That competition is going to be much smaller than our freestyle competition.
Cool. Is there any other games that we're playing beside freestyle and far out?
We are playing other games. They're just as like something fun to do, something extra to do. They're not part of the televised series.
Do they?
But they'll count for points. Definitely count for points. So that's awesome. But it's just basically something to give people something to do. Like if you drive all that way just to play far out on Saturday, well, now you have something else to do on Friday. Or, if you drive all that way just for your one freestyle team, well, if you've got a couple other dogs and you want to play, Fireball and Time Warp or something, you can do that on Friday. So
I'm
So these
certain.
will be 3x3 games, I think we talked about, right?
I think so. I mean, again, this is to be determined. I think we talked about them doing a full size field. So we'll see. We'll see what it's like.
And probably just do like walk up or something like that. Um,
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, that's all still to be determined. We have to have more conversations and more information and stuff. But I mean, a part of me is just like, yeah, let's do walk up, pick, you pick games out of these X amount of games or something, but we'll see what happens. It may turn out that I have to have more um criteria or more structure around that. And so, we'll
Yeah.
see.
Okay. Awesome. So there's gonna be walk-up games. We'll be able to play with all of our other dogs. I'm gonna bring all my dogs, and in between judging freestyle, I'm gonna be playing Greedy and Fireball, and maybe Time Warp. So just sign me up for all of those.
All right.
Are there any other things that we didn't talk about in regards to the invitational?
I know
So
one person asked me, like a local person asked, could they come and play the other games? And my answer to that, in case someone else has that same question, is we'll see. We'll see what Friday's looking like and how much space we have, how much parking we have. Like that's all
yeah.
to be determined.
All that priority will be given to the teams invited to
Right.
the either freestyle or far out.
Right. But if there's still space and there's still time and there's parking, then yeah, but we have to see about that.
okay. And one question I did get that I just remembered, are there going to be awards?
Yes.
Are they going to be trophies or are they like ribbons or what are they just like I just had someone ask me if there was going to be cool awards and I was like, well, there's probably going to be cool awards.
Well, Jack is in charge of the awards, so they will be cool. I
Okay,
don't know
good.
that they're going to be like Updiff Spaceman cool, but they'll, he'll make sure they're cool.
All right,
Yeah.
Jackson, charge of awards. Good news.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what I have to work with. I'm waiting on AKC, who is putting together a logo. So we'll see what that logo looks like and what kind of options we have
In the
based on
time that
that.
we have, because we
Month,
only have 2 months.
Yeah.
up top.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
definitely, I think it needs to be something substantial, not like a ribbon.
Yeah.
Not that ribbons aren't cool, but I'm just saying, like,
Something cool to put on your mantle as a showpiece, especially for
yeah,
our first one. I have some ideas that just popped in my head. I'll talk to you about afterwards.
perfect.
Yeah. I'm very excited about this one. And I'm a little bit more even excited about next year's because I feel like we're a little bit on rails for this year's because there's so many details and it's our first time and we only have a couple months until it's here. I'm really looking forward to like having this one under our belt, having all the data, and then like really having time to develop next year's. So I'm excited. I think this is going to be a great event. It's potentially going to be my favorite event of the year, and I'm excited to get it out to everybody.
Awesome.
Well, I'm confident that this year is going to be amazing. So, although I'm looking forward to next year, I think
We're
this
also
year
looking
is
forward
going
this
to be
year.
amazing.
Yeah.
And you never know. Like you never know year to year. Like this is every year that we have the opportunity to partner with AKC and ESPN. I feel very fortunate. It is not a guarantee every year. So you never know. Next year, it might be the live broadcast might be on the Sweet Spot channel. So it may not be as big of a deal in terms of that. So, anyways, um, Dre, I've got some far out facts.
Oh, we have far out facts.
Yep.
I really like your far out facts. What are your far out facts, Jack?
So the far out facts are like if you get invited to this and you're thinking, gosh, that's getting close to Thanksgiving. It's all the way down in Florida, and I'm just not sure if I should come. We want to give you some incentive to come. And hey, you know what? If you want to come down and watch and hang out, we want to give you some incentive for that. So here are some incentives to come down to the Tampa Bay area in November, especially if you're invited to the Freestyle and Far Out Invitational. Um, First up, there are a number of cool dog beaches. Where else are you going to be able to take your dog to the beach in November and not have it be freezing? We have Fort DeSoto Beach and Davis Island dog beaches. There's also a couple others around, but those are two that are pretty popular.
Very cool.
Dre, do you have another one, or you want me to continue?
I mean, I think you were doing a great job. I could do the St. Pete Pier is one to go check out. And I'm assuming you walk out to the end of it and see the ocean and fishes and boats and
Yes,
breeze
those
because
are all things found in
that's
the water.
in piers. I've never been there, but I'm assuming that you walk out on a long dock over the water and see pretty stuff. So you should come do that with your dog or without your dog.
Yep. And not too far down the road, just like 30, 45 minutes away, is the Tampa River Walk, which was recently voted the #1 river walk in the United States. It's a
Wow.
pretty cool
That says a
river
lot.
walk with all sorts of little outdoor eateries, outdoor breweries, lots of places to just,
Wow.
sit and watch the water and watch, people walk by and stuff. It's a pretty cool little park. So the Tampa River Walk is another great one.
Um, Two Shepherds Tap Room. I'm not really a beer drinker, but for those that drink beer, it's a brewery and a dog park. And I did walk by a brewery and a dog park in another city I was in recently, and I thought that was a brilliant idea. So I didn't even know that there was one of those in Tampa. That's super cool. Yeah, so nice outdoor dog park and have some beer. That's in Tampa.
There you go. And if you don't like beer, but you've got a friend maybe that does, they do serve food as well and sodas and stuff like that. So you don't have to drink beer. You could have something else, a different beverage. Um, just in general, there are a ton of places to kayak or paddleboard. And again, it's November. Your options are, freezing and being cold or, having some fun on a kayak and a paddleboard.
Yep.
Uh,
Sparkman's Wharf, bunch of outdoor eateries and restaurants and stuff.
Yep,
Sparkman's.
that's in Tampa. That's nearby. That's probably only, I don't know, 30, probably 30 minutes away from the location. And right around, like I said earlier, right around the actual stadium is the Dolly Museum. There's a fine arts museum. Um,
When you say the Dali Museum,
Like
it's
Salvador.
Salvador Dali, not like dolls.
yeah,
Dolly.
not the, yeah, sorry.
I've been
As
there
a
a few
local,
times.
I don't want
It's
to go
nice.
to the Dali Museum. That sounds kind of
yeah,
freaky.
not Dolly Parton, not dolls, Dolly, Dali, Salvador Dali. Sorry, I'm from Tampa, born and raised in Tampa, so like that's just all this stuff
Warm.
is like second nature to me. So, um, and by the way, I had nothing to do with picking the location. We were actually lobbying for a further north location, so it just happens to be near where we are.
Literally in your backyard. Yep.
Yeah, we live like an hour and 10 minutes from there. But there's like dolphin watching cruises and sunset cruises and things like that. Like there's all because St. Pete Beach is literally like 15 minutes away. There's all kinds of stuff to do. Like,
Oh, that sounded very romantic.
yeah,
Hmm.
you want to go on one?
Sure.
All
Yeah.
right.
Aw, little heart bubble in between you guys.
Um, Another thing that you guys want to do if you come down here, Babs Mahoney, who you guys all know, she's our one of our UpDiff founders. She's one of our 6 team members, and she's the one that's always doing an amazing job with all the merch in the store and everything else. She has an amazing property, like 10 minutes down the road from Kat and I, which it means it's about an hour or so from the event. And she has like a giant covered building that with great turf in it that she does. Like there's a lot of agility stuff that goes on there. She does a lot of fly ball practices at her place. She's got a great dock, and she said she's encouraging everybody like, hey, come for the invitational and stay the week. And while you're staying the week, you can sign up for dock sessions at her place to go have your dog go dock diving again. It may be too cold where you are. There's an opportunity to like come. And she said you could reach out to her on Facebook Messenger, or if you've got her details, you can also text her, and you can actually nail down like, hey, I would like Tuesday at 11 o'clock or whatever, and she can get you signed up for a dock session. And even cooler than all of that, because she's got so much going on at her place, and because she's got a whole bunch of extra like stuff from UpDiff, t-shirts and whatnot, she's actually built a UpDog store at her property. You can go in there. It's almost as big as the UpDog store at UpDiff. When I say almost, I mean it's not. But
Quarter.
but it is cool. It's
It is
laid out
cool.
like a store. It's not just a bunch of t-shirts thrown on a table. Like it is laid out like a really cool store. You can see all the merchandise, and Babs would love to have you there. Love to have you come hang out, talk with her for a little while, enjoy her place. So that's another reason to come down to the Invitational.
It's kind of like
And
UpDog Museum. It's like the UpDog Museum at Babs's.
Don't give her any
Yep.
ideas. That might be next.
yeah. All right, and the last one, Kat, why don't you tell them about our last reason to visit the Tampa Bay area when you're invited to the Invitational, or if you'd like to come as a spectator.
So if you have the time and you want to stay the whole week and, make a vacation of it, you can close out your week with the following weekend is UpDog Florida State Championships in Ocala. So we're having multiple fields, multiple games.
Freestyle, far out,
Freestyle,
both
yeah.
be featured.
Yep. I think the only games that we're not playing are potentially Funky and 7-Up. That's still to be determined. I think everything else we're playing. But it's a really great event. There's RV parking on site. It's in Ocala, so there's tons of hotels and Airbnbs there. So, keep a lookout for that registration, and you can stay the week and be a Florida tourist, and then come to the Florida States, and then head home. Maybe be the Florida State champion, even though you live in Minnesota or something,
Right.
super northern like that.
I don't know if our locals would allow that.
Canada, that would be
I'll
cool.
come down from Tennessee, try and be the
Right.
Florida State champion.
There you
I don't
go.
remember-
There you go.
Even when I lived in Florida, I don't think I was ever the Florida State champion.
Well,
So
When is registration for that going to be open?
probably in the next few weeks. We still have to nail down some details about the games and stuff, but probably open up in the next few weeks. I'll post about it on the discussion page when it does.
Okay, there's a lot of details flying around. I'm glad you're in charge.
Yeah, well, that's what I do.
All
Well,
right.
we
Well,
hope to see you guys on an UpDog field soon.
yes, absolutely. Hopefully we see you at the Invitational, and be on the lookout for the missing information that we weren't able to give you today when Kat said that's still like under discussion or whatever. We'll put that out as soon as possible. And in the meantime, Kat, what are we supposed to do?
Be kind to each other.
Seriously.
Seriously.
And be kind to your animals. We will see you next time on The Sweet Spot. I'm Jack.